So yeah, hello, my name is Matthew Carroll, and I'm a member of Danny Singh's lab in the Department of Agronomy, and I'm doing a PhD in plant breeding at Iowa State. And so we're using a lot of different sensors. So the main one right now is a hyperspectral reflectance spectrometer. That spectrometer collects data from 400 nanometers to 1,000 nanometers. The human eye can typically see in the red, green, and blue spectrum, which is from 450 to 650 nanometers. So there's a lot more information out there that can be collected, and it has a lot of plant health information that we're not able to detect and see. And so the hope is that with that, we can predict yield, but in addition to that, we've also collected high-resolution soil data with the digital soil mapping group here at Iowa State, so that instead of just kind of having broad management zones like you would on a farm, we actually have plot-level soil fertility information on each plot that we're growing. So the idea is that combining hyperspectral soil data, we also collect weather data that's on a daily basis on all of our fields. And then the last thing we collect is UAV, drone, RGB, and we're starting to get into multispectral sensors as well. And that RGB UAV data gives us good estimates of canopy area, plant health indices, similar to the hyperspectral, but the long-term goal is that as we start figuring out the things on the ground-based systems, we're able to collect data, we can move that to an aerial-based phenotyping system where something that takes us maybe 3 hours to collect, we can collect in 20 to 30 minutes with a drone. And so we can really reduce the amount of time and labor that is needed and make this scalable and usable both for the breeding program, but hopefully eventually also for farmer fields, so that if they have an interest in trying to estimate yield mid-season, they are able to do that as well.
Hi, I'm Shourodeep Chattopadhyay, and I'm from the Self-Aware Complex Systems Lab at Iowa State University. I work under Dr. Soumik Sarkar. So as we saw, Matthew told us that these spectral measurements are actually giving us a lot of information that our eyes can see. Now, through data analysis, we can take this vast amount of information and data that we have from all of these sensors, from drones and the hyperspectral reflectance, and we can try and model a relationship between the end season yield and the sensor data. That will allow us to create a tool that will help farmers and plant breeding programs predict end season yield to a good accuracy, and that is great for breeding programs because that's going to reduce the cost of labor and help us gain better accuracy in yield prediction. On top of that, we are actually also trying to streamline the process of data collection because in a huge field we are also looking at reduced costs when it comes to data collection. So we are using data analysis methods to find out how we can collect more efficient data at a reduced price and at a reduced cost.
We work in a breeding program, so the main goal for us is the breeding objective of how do we predict plot yield and reduce the logistics that go into our breeding program. But number two is that as we develop these methods and move more towards both aerial with drone, but also satellite data, as we'll talk about with some other projects we have going on, hopefully that this type of information can also be used by farmers to predict yield mid-season, so that if they kind of have a good idea of what they're going to be yielding, they can maybe change up their marketing strategies and things like that.